My name is Terry Hendricks, and I live in Georgia. I turned 70 years old the 13th of August. Didn't think I was going to make it to 70 years old. A little bit of my history and background is I was a medic in the Army for 12 years, and I was in emergency medicine. Never had to take a drug in my life. I was usually very, very healthy. But about 15 years ago, I started into health problems. I wound up with cardiovascular problems, high blood pressure and triglycerides. Cardiovascular disease was hitting me in all kinds of directions. And then arthritis started. Now, the arthritis was really debilitating to me because I'd always been an active person, and it got to the point to where I couldn't raise my arms up. I couldn't sleep on either side of my body anymore. Some of my hands would be locked sometimes in the mornings, and I couldn't even unlock them. I'd have to put them in deep hot water for it, and I could pull them loose. Now, being in the service, you go to the VA. I didn't have insurance or anything. What did I know? I'd worked with doctors and nurses in the Army for 12 years. That's where I went. Well, it seemed like the only answer that they had was, every time I saw them about once a month, was, let's change that prescription. Let's change the dosage of that prescription, or put you on a different one, or more of this or more of that. They treated my symptoms, and they treated them with over 32 drugs in 3.5 years. Nothing got any better. I got to where I was gaining weight. I wound up in 3.5 years gaining 100 pounds. 2 of those drugs I had bad reactions to. One time wound up in the emergency room and so forth. As I went along, I found myself with some bad problems in my gut. I found an oncologist, and I went to them. Didn't go to the VA this time. He did a colonoscopy, first one I'd ever had. I saw it on the monitor myself. I said, well, looking at that monitor, I think I've got some problems. He said, yeah, I believe you do too. I'm gonna do some biopsies. About 4 days later, I got that C word that I was developing colon cancer. 2 of the polyps that he'd taken out, he took out about 5, were cancers. And I started asking him, well, what are the treatments today? I had my mother die of cancer, my uncle died of cancer, and so I had cancer history in my family. And he started talking about the nuclear medicine and the options of surgery and all that. So I got on the internet. In 2 weeks' time, I learned more about what the human body needs to stabilize itself, to boost your immune system, to detoxify yourself. I found out some frightening things going on with our food, with our health, with all these things that we're consuming every day is destroying us. And I started researching. I knew that oxygen was part of every metabolic process in your body. I knew that. So, but I didn't know, well, except for putting a cannulator under my nose or dragging an oxygen bottle around the rest of my life, how am I going to get more oxygen? Am I going to just deep breathe day and night or what? So I saw all these oxygen products, and I started researching them. Most of them were acidic, and I knew that wasn't good for the body. You had to keep your body, you should keep your body alkaline. And then I saw Dr. Krause's research on an alkaline stabilized oxygen patented product that literally produced actual oxygen in the body at the cellular level, and it stayed up for hours at a time. I'd never read or heard anything like that in all my research. So I ordered some of that product and started taking it. Now, I did change some of my diet and so forth, and I did some other whole foods, nutritionals and so forth. And one of the first things that happened to me, I was in the shower. I had not heard anything out of this left ear in a year or 2. My father lost his hearing in his left ear for months. He went deaf, and I thought, gosh, am I gonna go deaf here? But I was in the shower one day. This is after I was taking the product for a little while, the oxygen product. And I have a phone in the bathroom, and I had a washcloth in my hand. The phone rang, and I just threw the curtain back. I was expecting a call, and I grabbed it, put it in my left ear. I said, yeah, I know, Andy. Yeah, okay, I'm going to be there. Yes. He said, okay, all right. And I started to hang it up, and I realized I'm hearing something from my left ear. And I said, wait a minute. I said, keep talking. He said, well, didn't you hear me? We got an appointment. I said, yeah, I hear you. It's in my left ear that I've been deaf in for so long. I don't know what happened, folks. But doctors couldn't clear it up. The drug didn't clear it up. The candle wax and all that stuff hadn't cleared it. All of a sudden, I could hear it. From then on, things started happening. I started losing weight. I slept better. I wasn't getting up and down all night long going to pee every hour on the hour. Within 2 months, I could sleep on my side again. I wasn't doing this and having a lot of pain. I was starting to where I could raise my arm over my head, spin my arms around. I didn't have the lower back pain that I'd been suffering with. Folks, in 6 months' time, changing my diet a little bit, but taking oxygen, the first God-given power of life in your body is oxygen. Every metabolic process in your body begins and ends from a thought in your brain to toenails coming out. It's all about oxygen first. You cannot detoxify anything out of the body without the proper amount of oxygen in the body. I also learned that in 1931, one of the first Nobel Prizes was won by a cell biologist in Germany, Dr. Otto Heinrich Warburg. And he proved if you reduce the oxygen in a cell that fires 84 times in your body every minute, if you reduce that oxygen 37%, it stops firing. It dies and starts a fermentation process and more than likely becomes a cancer cell. First Nobel Prize he won. Then he won another one, and this has been proven thousands of times over that if you can keep your body alkaline and oxygenated properly at the cellular level, no virus, no pathogen, no cancer, no fungus can maintain or multiply in your life. Keep your body alkaline. Acid waste is a buffet restaurant for any disease. If it doesn't have anything to consume and fire, then the buffet is closed, right? If you've ever taken care of a swimming pool, you're 75% fluid. You're a walking swimming pool. You have to go out and do the pH. I had a swimming pool years ago, and if it's acidic, you have to put those chemicals in to make it alkaline. Same way with your body. You must keep it oxygenated fully and alkaline, and disease has nowhere to function in your body. So in 6 months' time, folks, I had arthritis was gone. I was losing weight. I was off of all drugs. I haven't seen a doctor, a drug, even a flu shot in over 10 years. And neither is my 19-year-old daughter at Georgia Tech or my 53-year-old wife, because God's nutrition took hold of my body and did what it's supposed to do naturally. Is what you're doing in the past few years working for you? I spent 3.5 years with 32 drugs. Nothing got better. Everything was treating my symptoms, and I don't know how many times they started talking to me about surgical options for the pain in my back and all these other things, and I kept saying, no, I'm not going on any operating table. I'm still walking. Everything's okay. But they treated my symptoms. We see testimonials every day from people that are shocked and amazed saying, thank you, thank you, thank you for doing this for me. That you turned me on to this, and I realize today that I'm never gonna be without this again. Everybody needs more oxygen. Everybody lives with every breath on this earth. And if you can get more of that in their bodies, at every cell in your body doing what it's supposed to do, the miracle of life is happening at the rate it's supposed to.